Good morning, everybody. Glad you guys are here. Some of you are already getting those videos on. I love it. Good to see you. Let's see. Felicia, good to see you. Joanne, Carlin. But we have a whole
Good
bunch that need to get their video on.
good morning. I know everybody's so worried about what they look like. Just show up.
I know,
I
right?
don't care what you look like. Show up in your pajamas and your bathrobe for all I care. Your hair in a towel.
As long as you're clothed, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, yeah. Let's set some parameters there. Yeah.
Diane, hello. Good to see you. Oh, I should bring up my icebreaker question. I think it's icebreaker, but it's really not. It's still just work question. So, do you have goals you believe in, but still struggle to follow through on? I think this should be a pretty common yes among most of you, but let us know in the chat. Do you have goals that you believe in, but still struggle to follow through on? And I'm gonna be objective here. Some of you, the answer may be no. You might be good on following through on your goals. There might be goals that you have that you are diligent and committed to. For me, I tend to not have goals that I don't follow through on. Because if I don't follow through on them, usually that means that it wasn't a very good goal or wasn't a goal that was resonated. But I will say this. That comes with a lot of wisdom, prayer, and making sure I'm following the right path. Okay? And then it gets cut out of my life, right? If it's a goal, I mean, it had to fight. Let's put it that way. It had to fight to exist in my life. And then that usually means too, if it's a goal, my wife's in on it, my kids know about it. I even recently started teaching my kids how to pray over me. I always pray over them every morning, but I
Oh,
started teaching them to pray over me, to pray for me to have wisdom and diligence and things like that. So, Ramon, what's up? Nikki, good to see you. I love it. I love it. Good to see you guys.
I can't wait for that to show up in a way that's like, Dear Lord, please grant Daddy patience when I show him my report card or something like that. Like something cute and fun.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter kind of already does that because one thing I always remind them when they're in trouble is I remind them that I love them very much.
Of course.
I don't enjoy punishing them.
Sure.
And then sometimes my daughter will be like crying and like upset, and she'll be like, and I love you even when I'm mad at you. And
That's good. That's how it's
I'm
supposed to
like,
be.
thank you. That's the way.
Love it.
Understanding that you can be mad at someone and still love them is really
Two
important.
things can be true at the same time. That's right.
Joanne says, yes, everyday goals with my health. I'm always failing. Oh, Joanne. Okay. We're going to work on that. And believe it or not, today is going to resonate really well with that. This doesn't apply just to business today. One of my favorite things about Laura, she understands that if your personal life is not in order, it absolutely disrupts your business life. And so much of what she's been talking about for the last few weeks, guys, has been get your personal life in order. Have an understanding of who you are and what your goals are personally, and then make sure your business reflects those, supports those, and then vice versa. You're going to see a really beautiful cycle when they're centered like that. So, with
Well, when
that
your
being said,
personal life is in
yeah, go ahead.
alignment with your professional life and they're in alignment with each other,
Oh,
amazing, incredible things can happen.
yeah.
Right?
It's so special. It really is. It's so special. It's a lot of work though to get to that place. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
It's like losing a bunch of weight, right? Like it doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of different things that have to happen to make that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. All right, let's get into it. So this today is for all the agents who maybe you feel busy all the time, but you can't ever get ahead. What the heck? With how busy I am, shouldn't I be ahead? And yet I feel behind. I feel behind. Maybe you know what to do, but can't seem to do it consistently. Already have some of those in the chat. We understand. That's very real. And of course, maybe you just want a business that gives them life rather than one that drains it, supports a healthy, fulfilling life rather than feels like your business is always robbing you from it. It shouldn't feel that way, guys. You're going to have hard days in business, draining, tough, exhausting days in business, but it should not feel like it steals from your personal life. It should not feel like it's the enemy, right? I just got to bring this up. You ever hear the phrase, I'm sure you all have, right? Working for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how sad that actually is? That your entire work life is so miserable that you can't even find joy. And the only thing you get to look forward to is running away from your work. But here's the thing. Now let's bring it down to real estate. You ever hear the people who go, oh man, I have to be drunk, literally drunk the whole time I'm in a transaction. My clients are a nightmare. My life is a mess. And it's just like every day, it's like, why are you in real estate? You seem to hate it.
Mm.
And that's because their personal life is not in order. Laura's going to talk about non-negotiables today. They do not have their non-negotiables. And so all they can do is react. And the way they react is negatively. We want you to get out of that. And if we can, we want you to avoid that going forward. But before we get into that, there's 4 commitments being on the call. Okay. Number 1 is a video on. Get those videos on. A lot of you have already done it this morning. You must be regulars. I love it. Makes me so happy to see you guys. Thank you. Number 2 is distractions off. You didn't show up. You're too smart to show up today just to be distracted. Like, what the heck? No way. You're too smart for that. Number 3 is participate. There's going to be questions. There's going to be things that you might want to ask yourself and put them in the chat. Don't leave that question hanging. Put it in the chat. We'll get to it. And then lastly is make someone's day. Go bless someone else. I don't care who it is or how, just go bless them. Okay? Now, real quick, the things need to change moment is work expands, families need more. Energy fluctuates, and without clear negotiables, non-negotiables, which we've talked about just a moment ago, just the schedules and the systems and the plans and everything that you've had, even these last 3 weeks with Laura, it will all fall apart without concrete non-negotiables in your life. They are the anchor that everything revolves around. So this is where you need to stop hoping that consistency shows up and the right things will magically get done and start deciding what happens no matter what. Okay? So say it with me. As always, things
Things
need
must or need to change. I don't have the slides up. Sorry. Things need to or must change. Either way, they have to change.
both of them are great. Things need to change, and they will. And we're going to start with some plan structure, okay? Because the truth is that consistent routines reduce decision fatigue and improve follow through. And let me tell you, decision fatigue is real. It's 30,000 decisions we make on average a day. Did you guys know that?
Mm.
And that's not running your own business, by the way. That's the average person, which means they have a boss who tends to make decisions for them, managers who make decisions for them. I'd venture to guess there's no real stat on this one, but I bet you it'd be double if you run your own business. That's a lot of decisions, okay? We're trying to get you out of the fatigue from making those decisions. Number 2 is just that structured schedules are associated, and this is pretty practical, with less stress and higher productivity. Who would have thought? Knowing what you're going to do when you're going to do it is a relief, not a burden. And of course, clear boundaries and systems significantly reduce burnout, especially in high performance roles, which, believe it or not, we are in a high performance role. We have a lot on the line, we have a lot of responsibilities. A lot can go wrong at any moment. Okay. So understand it's not about working harder. That's kind of, there is a point where you do need to work hard. Absolutely. There's kind of this threshold of I have to work at least this much, at least this hard. But then beyond that point, the working harder will not fix certain things. It will not be able to overlook and sweep them under the rug working harder does not fix everything. Okay. There's a lot of really hardworking people who are broke, burned out, stressed all the time. So we know there's more. And that's why Laura brings this up. It's about building systems that protect your energy so you can show up fully for the work that matters most. So, with that being said, let's get into it.
Awesome. Is this my turn? Yay!
Your turn.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Robert. I hope that you guys, you're probably pretty tired of me by now, week after week, and we're on week 4 and we're bringing it home this week. I'm really grateful for those of you that have shown up all 3, all 4 weeks. That those of you that are, this might be your first time on the call. So I kind of want to back up for a second before we get into non-negotiables, although he has teed me up perfectly. I kind of want to just pause for a second before we go into non-negotiables. Let's talk about what we've covered already so that you can feel like you've made some progress going into week 4. You've worked through the workbook. I did drop a link in the chat. There's just an Agent Alliance folder that has a couple resources that we're going to talk about today. The big, beautiful workbook that you guys love so much, all 70 some pages of it are in that link. You can download it from there. If you don't have it, go get that now. That is in the chat. There's also a sheet on time blocking, which we're going to talk about in a minute, because you do need to learn how to protect your time. There's also a list of non-negotiables, and I've given you kind of some examples between daily, weekly, monthly, annually non-negotiables. We're going to talk about those as well. And then I think there's one more resource in there, a planner. I gave you guys a kind of a just a blank planner if you want it kind of thing. A couple of things I want to mention is what we've covered thus far, just so you have some clarity about where we've been going into this last final home run here, this last turn in the corner. We have really talked about our why. Why are we in this business? Like Robert was saying, a lot of agents are frustrated. They're burned out. They're miserable. They're working with people they don't like. They are struggling to find joy in this career. And a lot of that is because they have forgotten why they got into this business to begin with. All the other busyness and the minutia of this business has taken over. And so we are going backwards. We talked about why we do this. Why is this so important to us, right? We got some clarity on discovering what our lane is in this business, because there's so many ways to make money in this business, and not every business is not the same. Robert's business is different than my business. Our clients are different. My special sauce is different than his, right? So it's you picking your lane. And most of you are hesitant to do that because you're worried about not being like, well, does that mean I won't be able to sell to this person? No, the outliers will always be there. But when you choose who you want to work with and you fill your pipeline so full of the people you relate best to, that already know your value, that understand why they need you, and you're going to have a much more enjoyable experience. You don't have to get drunk to get through a transaction with somebody, right? Because you're working with people you like. You're working with people that you already relate to and understand, and they respect you. And you're attracting the people that you get along with and that you enjoy serving, instead of running and chasing a dollar. And in the chasing of the dollar, what have you given up? You've given up your agency. The agency is your ability to decide for yourself who gets the benefit of your time, your energy, and your money. Okay. So we picked a lane. We really visualized what our life was going to look like in a perfect white picket fence world where we were in control, where we had plenty of business, where we were thriving, where we were showing up for our clients in a way that we were proud of. We saw that. We saw what it looked like because we had to see it in order to do it, right? We had to be able to visualize it in order to make that happen. Then we talked about who our ideal client was. We really got granular. We know what they Google it to in the morning. We know what their fears are. We know what their pain points are. We really dug deep to figure out what makes them tick, right? What kind of cars do they drive? Where do they eat? Where do they go to church? What kind of church? Do their kids play sports? Do they have kids? How old are their kids? How much money do they make? We got really granular on who we want to serve. And we were able to articulate it. We were able to explain to somebody. If Robert said, Laura, tell me who your ideal client is, I'm able to explain that to Robert and say, this is who I serve. This is who I work with. I also can explain to other people what things to look for or listen for, right? I'm teaching the people in my life based on who my target client is, what kind of things that they might see or hear that indicate I might be able to help. So for a lot of us, those are going to be things like someone had a baby, someone had a grandbaby. You know, grandparents love to move close to their grandbabies. Those are typically indicative of life events that are going to be indicative of a move coming, right? It happens all the time. That Mimi or grandma has got to be close to those babies, right? Someone got married, right? Maybe someone got a divorce. Maybe they got a job promotion. Whatever those life events are that predict real estate activity, we're teaching our network how to look for those, how to listen for those. We're describing who we work with so that our network of people can look for those people that we can help to send us those referrals, right? we we can explain to people why they should hire us. We know what our value is. We know what we bring to the table. We also know what makes us different than other agents. And instead of telling you, we're going to show you, right? Those are the things that are going to make us different and stand out among the competition. We also looked at our last numbers. And while our last numbers and our past metrics are indicative of things that worked or didn't work, sometimes they're a circumstance of the market. Sometimes they're a circumstance of natural disasters. We had a Category 5 hurricane here in Asheville that impacted our sales ability, that impacted our ability to sell houses, right? So when I look at my numbers, I could beat myself up and go, man, I sold half of what I normally do. Or I could be grateful that I sold half of what I normally do after a Category 5 hurricane, right? The numbers don't indicate failure. The numbers don't necessarily indicate that you're not working hard enough. The numbers tell stories, and the numbers don't lie in terms of, did you show up exactly how you want to show up for your business? And if most of us are being honest with ourselves, the answer is probably not true, that we did not show up the way we really want to. Could we have done more? Could we have done better? And I say that to say, to be cautious, because I think I saw some chat where people were saying, I don't get a day off, right? I don't ever take time off. And I was having a conversation with my spouse this morning about that, is that we are so used to all the notifications going on our phone and trying to be available to everybody at all times. We don't want to miss an opportunity on Facebook to plug ourselves. We don't want to miss a call or a text message or some email that came through that requires an immediate response according to us. And we have trained people to expect immediate responses from us. We've trained ourselves to provide immediate responses to people. And while I am for exceptional service, which means timely responses, I am also for a work-life balance that does not leave your family getting the crumbs left over. And I think I've shared this story maybe twice already in this 4-week series. I have been in this business since dinosaurs roamed the earth, and I blinked and my kids were 24 and 21. And I thought I was working so hard to teach them the value of a dollar, the value of really hard work, showing them that their very educated and very professional father was not the only person that they should respect for hard work. There are lots of people that work so hard, and I thought I was teaching them all these lessons. Well, I blinked and woke up and they were gone, right? They were gone. The other part is that I gave so much of myself to all of my clients. They got the best of me, the best attitude. They got the best service. They got the most reactive and responsive reaction from me. And when I got home, I was exhausted, and my family got what was left over. And I can tell you for 100% certainty that doesn't make for a great marriage. It doesn't make for a great relationship with your kids. And it leaves you feeling empty and burned out. And so I want to caution you. We're going to talk about time blocking, and you're going to see that I teach you in a different way how to protect your time. But your family obligations come first. Your personal time comes first. And then you schedule the business. Okay? Because you cannot serve people at the level you want to if you're running on fumes. And most of you are busy. We'd all say we're busy. But I will ask you, are you busy being fabulous, or are you busy making money? Right? I said busy being fabulous because a lot of us are just busy with lots of things on our calendar, But if you look at the sales cycle and you look at how you get paid, are the things on your calendar in direct relation to a paycheck? Most of us are not even on the sales cycle. To get on the sales cycle, you have to generate a lead and then convert that lead to an appointment. Then you start showing houses or listing houses or preparing houses. Most of us sit in that upper left-hand corner that is working on our website, playing around with Chat GPT, creating lead magnets. Maybe you send a couple emails or you send a couple text messages or maybe you go networking, but you're not even on the sales cycle because you don't even talk to people. Okay. So this is just a very rude wake-up call and a rude way for me to tell you when you are evaluating your calendar, are you any closer to a paycheck with the activity that is taking up your time? Not everything that's on your calendar is relation to a paycheck. Sometimes you have to block off time to eat. Hello, you have to eat, right? And y'all are laughing at me. I see a couple of you with your cameras on laughing at me, but I'll be here the first to tell you, how many of you have woken up at 7, 8 o'clock, got started on your day, and you looked up and it's 3 o'clock, you haven't eaten a single thing that day? Are you serving your clients if you're hangry? No way, right? So I want you to be sure that you are taking care of yourself. A burnout agent is not going to provide the best service. A burnout agent is not going to make the best decisions for their clients, right? We don't make good decisions when we're not whole, when we're not healthy. So keep that in mind. We talked a little bit about money clarity, about evaluating what you spend your money on and evaluating whether or not those things have a return, right? We balance that against, hey, what is the return on this for me? We got better about deciding what we spend our money on, right? Chasing strangers is 8 times harder to convert than someone you met yesterday at a donut shop, okay? So ask yourself if the activities that you are engaging in are in direct correlation with who you want to work with. Is it putting you in a position closer to a paycheck, right? Or are you still playing around on the internet, being busy, right? Not that you can't make money from there, but you know what I'm saying. Robert's laughing at me. I'm just here to entertain you, really. But, and are you building in enough time and protecting your time in a way that you actually can still come home and be something to your family and engage with your family and have a work-life balance that doesn't leave you scraping the bottom of the barrel of energy, right? Hating your job and hating the people you work with. That's not what we're here for, okay? That should kind of catch you up real quickly. I know I got on my soapbox, but that should kind of catch you up on where we've been. Today, we're talking about non-negotiables, first of all. Go to the next slide for me, if you would. Your non-negotiables are the things that you're going to choose, that you're going to commit to regardless of how life shows up, okay? Your kid's going to get sick. Your dog's going to throw up and have to go to the vet. Your maybe mom's going to need to go to the doctor. Like, things are going to happen that are going to derail your best intention and the perfect calendar that you've built yourself. Okay. But the non-negotiables are going to be the things that you commit to on a timely basis. They are the structure that does not exist in this business. And we have to insert structure where structure does not exist. It's not given to us already. In this industry, we don't have somebody telling us what time to do anything, right? We don't have someone telling us how many calls we have to make a day, how many appointments we have to book. There's no accountability that if you don't do that, you're going to get fired. If you don't do that, you might not make any money, but you might still do this for 2 or 3 years because you're hard-headed, because you're just going to hang in for 5 years without making any money because you refuse to give up. And I get that, but you need to insert structure and habits that create consistency, because consistent action is going to win each and every time over perfection. Okay? Each and every time. One of the, Ken, whoever's running the slide, can you click on the non-negotiables resource that I put on and maybe share that for a second so I can talk to that? Pretty please.
The one in the drive?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me get that
If
up.
you don't mind. I'm so
I
sorry.
got you. Don't even
Yep.
worry. All
Thank you, my dear.
right. This one right here?
Yes, please.
Wonderful.
All right. I've given you kind of some choices of daily non-negotiables, right? These are things that I would recommend you pick. Now, you don't have to pick 8 to 10. I wrote no exceptions, but I'm a hard ass sometimes. But I'll tell you, I think you could probably pick a minimum of 3 or 4, right? What the purpose of these non-negotiables are is so that you show up for your business. And if you did a minimum of these things every day, you would be able to put your head on the pillow saying, I worked in my business enough to move the needle today. I'm proud of the effort that I put in working in my business today. I took proactive approach to find clients today or to earn a paycheck. Okay. Some of the non-negotiables, I'll tell you the first one I think was like to check the MLS, review the MLS hot sheet. This is something that I think is imperative for every agent. You need to know what's happening in your market. What is active? What came on that day? What went under contract? What closed? Are you knowledgeable about what's happening in the market that you serve? Beyond just knowing about it, could you use the things that you find in there to prospect for new business? Absolutely. A new listing comes on the market in Hidden Lake subdivision, right? Hidden Lake subdivision happens to be a subdivision where my target client lives. Okay. So from that activity, and I see that there's a new listing, I could create a post on social media about the new listing. I could blast out to my entire database about the new listing that just hit the market that was not listed by me. It was listed by Sam Smith at ABC Realty, right? But it came up in the MLS, and now I want to distribute that listing and promote it. Okay. If something goes under contract, every seller in the neighborhood wants to know, oh my God, that house went under contract in 2 days, or that house went under contract. And they want to be kept in the know. Well, I wonder what it sold for. I wonder what's happening. Maybe I'm sending a letter to all the sellers within a certain mile proximity to a house that went under contract. I had nothing to do with the pending sale, but I'm using the activity that's happening around me to market and promote my business. Maybe the sold is another thing. Maybe I'm going to see something that closed and I want to contact that listing agent and say, hey, if you have buyers that are looking that maybe you have multiple offers or people that had contacted you and this one is already sold, I have a listing that's in the same neighborhood. I would love to, talk to anybody that house was not a good fit for. There are things that I can look for and activities that I can do just from this one activity alone. I can review what is happening in the neighborhoods or zip codes or areas that I care about, and then I can do my business. I can do my job, okay, which is promoting houses, promoting what I do. That's one strategy. Y'all, we don't get mail anymore. The only mail we get are bills. How many of you got more than 5 Christmas cards? Anybody? Because I think I only got 3. And 2 of them came from Epic. Huh? I don't like 2 of them came from Epic and 1 came from my Age Alliance. I'm sure of it.
I think you're right.
But
I think like 2 of mine came from Epic, and then I do the
right.
Agent Alliance one, so I sent one to myself to test it.
Okay.
Does it
Well,
count?
yes, of course. But I used to get 100 Christmas cards every Christmas. We would put them on the door, on the walls. People just don't do it anymore, right? Money, whatever the thing is. So, but we love getting personal notes. We love getting personal mail. So I send kind of I see you notes, right? I use my business journal. So National Business Journal is what I have. I know, there's lots of cities out there that have business journals, but I'm just giving you this one example. If people say, well, I don't know who to write handwritten notes to. Obviously, if you're going on appointments with people, you should be writing handwritten notes, thanking them for their time for the appointment, right? If you don't have appointments, well, that's a problem. But if you don't have appointments, we're going to say, okay, well, who do I send them to? I'm looking for things that I can acknowledge. Sometimes I'm scouring Facebook and I see somebody had a baby, somebody's dog passed away, somebody got a job promotion, somebody is just having a hard time. Maybe they're depressed, maybe they're having those winter blues, right? I'm looking for ways to touch people in a personal way that is building relationships and strengthening relationships. And sometimes they are just saying, I see you. When I use the business journal to come up with people to send notes for, all the time there are articles about people who opened new businesses, about people who got promoted, people who got new job titles. I'm always sending notes that say, and it could be the guy at the bank that just got promoted to first vice president. I don't know him from Adam, but I see that he got a promotion and I'm sending him a handwritten note to his bank that says, congratulations on your job promotion. I love to see people winning in your industry. Looking forward to connecting with you soon. That's it. I'm not, it's not a hard sales thing. It's just, I see you. Congratulations on your promotion, right? Those kinds of handwritten notes are going to go far. What I'm going to tell you is you're going to be blown away by the reaction that you get from something so simple as you saying, I see you. I'm thinking about you. I'm wondering how you've been, right? Y'all, all the automation in the world, all the tech tools, all the AI, all the things that we have to help us run our business, this is still a personal business to people. People still require and need your personal touch. They need to know you care about them. They need to know that you're protecting them. They need to know that you're a human that is competent to help guide them. So how do you do that? How do you show that? Handwritten notes is a way that I have done it for years and years and years. It has become a daily habit that has been the crucial non-negotiable for my business for at least 20 years. And I will never stop doing it. So you pick whatever non-negotiables are for you. I just wanted to explain to you what just that one reviewing the hot sheet doesn't mean just knowing what's happening. It's doing activities from it, right?
Hmm.
Gleaning some kind of activity that I wasn't a part of, but I get to promote. Okay. Just because you have an IDX feed, you get to. Okay. That means that any listing that goes into MLS, you can promote or send to people. Hey, I saw this listing just came live. Do you want to know more about it? Do you want to know more about this neighborhood? Right? I would encourage you guys to go through this list of non-negotiables. Pick 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever your adventurous self tells you. At the end of the day, your non-negotiables are you creating structure where there isn't any. It's you putting things in place that you're committing to. Here's the thing about commitment. It's only considered a commitment if you actually do it. Okay. So here's what I see all the time in my coaching is that agents will choose non-negotiables, but then life will show up and guess what doesn't get done? That's the whole point of the non-negotiables is so that you commit to these when life does show up. It doesn't matter what your schedule looks like that day. At the very minimum, I'm writing my notes. At the very minimum, I'm checking the MLS, right? These are things that you're going to commit to doing, and you're not going to let yourself off the hook because you don't feel like it that day. This is where the regimen and the routine and the structure builds consistency. And the consistent income will come from consistent action. Period. Okay? Everybody heard me? We're good? All right,
Oh
let's
yeah.
go back to the slideshow. So sorry. Thank you. All right. Decide what standards you will hold yourself to when your motivation fades, because your motivation is gonna fade, especially those of you that are not taking time off, because you're gonna burn out and your motivation is only gonna last so long. Okay. And I will tell you, burnout is probably the thing that happens the most in our business is because the drive is real. Your desire to win, you are so driven to succeed. You refuse to accept failure, which I am all about. But pausing and relaxing and resting your body is not failure. It is also not an opportunity missed if your pipeline is so full, you don't have to chase every little thing that's not for you. That allows you to rest. The whole point of identifying a target client and an ideal client is so that you get to work with the people and you only have so many hours to give and you allow yourself the opportunity to rest. You cannot recharge your batteries or attack if you don't retreat. You have to retreat to be able to attack, right? You have to give yourself that gift of rest and relaxation. Next slide, please. We're going to talk about time blocking now. Let's talk about building your schedule. Okay, so Laura, what the heck goes on my schedule? What do I put on my calendar? Because you made fun of me because I play on the internet and I don't have any appointments. So what do I actually put on my calendar? Okay. If you would go ahead and open up that other time blocking thing for me, that resource. One of the things that I want to understand about the time blocking is that these things go on your calendar in this order. Okay. You're going to start your weekly planning on Sundays. I take 30 minutes every Sunday and plan my week ahead. Okay. That's how you're not reactive. That's how you're proactive. I decide, who do I want to meet with this week? How many people do I need to talk to? this week. Set yourself a goal of how many appointments you would like to have this week, right? On Sunday. The first thing that goes on my calendar for the week is my personal and family time. That's date night. Those are vacations, birthdays, family obligations, exercise classes, because maybe that's for me. I'm trying to get healthy this year. So that's a first and foremost thing that's going to go, because I cannot serve anybody from a hospital bed or if I die from a heart attack. Period. So first and foremost comes, y'all are laughing at me. You're like, dang, she goes hard. Yeah, I go right for the jugular, because some of us need a freaking wake up call. And I'm sorry for some of you that haven't had a cup of coffee yet, but hey, you better wake up. Okay. Number two, what goes on the calendar next are lead follow up or lead things, events, or other immovable items, things that cannot be moved. They're things that you've committed to. Those are things that should be. Lead generation does not move. If it moves, you have to make it up. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. Coaching calls, training events, sales meetings, team meetings, shake the money tree. One thing I want to make a distinction about. You guys can sit in training classes like this one all day long. All day long. This class is important. It's helping you with your mindset. It's helping you prepare. It's helping you plan. But if your calendar is full of education, is the education making you any money? If you learn a strategy, sure, take the strategy and roll. But you cannot get ready to get ready to get ready to get ready your whole career. You got to actually go do something. You got to go sell something. You got to go talk to people. So while I'm telling you to put these kinds of things on your calendar, commit to what you want to commit to, but limit the time that you give to education. Choose one or two things a week. The rest should be appointments. You guys could sit in a class all day long, every day, because we have education all day, every day, right? But are you making any money sitting in classes? So be careful and cautious, okay? Choose which ones go on there. When I say shake the money tree, on number two, this is where is new money coming from? New money, okay? That means who have I talked to that is already knows about me, but maybe hasn't committed to me yet, right? Or maybe this is somebody new that I need to meet for new opportunities to earn money. Shaking the money tree should be your obligation every single day. Where is my money coming from? The money, I don't know about y'all, but I've been shaking these trees in my backyard and the dollar bills just ain't falling off of it, right? I got to get out of my backyard. I got to get out of my house. I got to go meet people. Okay. That becomes hard if you're in like Middle Tennessee and you're frozen over. I know that's been hard for the last 10 days. Some of you haven't even had power. I get it. Okay. Number three, predetermined appointment slots. So for me, I have 2 appointment slots a day that I try to fill. Only 2. Now, that's because I run 3 or 4 different businesses. I have a coaching business. I run 2 real estate teams. I have a podcast. For you, if you are a full-time realtor, my recommendation to you is you should strive for 2 to 3, a minimum of appointments a day. Now, you will ask me, okay, I don't have that many clients to schedule appointments. No, you probably don't. But what you do have, those appointment slots can be listing appointments if you have sellers. They can be buyer consultations. They can be showings, open houses, business to business meetings. They can be you practicing your listing presentation. Y'all are going to laugh at me. Anybody ever got suckered into a rainbow vacuum demonstration? Yes. Okay. So here's what I want to compare this to. You practicing your presentations, not only does it help you work out the kinks, it makes you a better presenter. It helps you know your timing, your cadence. It helps you really get confident in presenting the information. But let me tell you what else it does. It plants the seed of what you do and how you do it. It's educating the people that you're practicing on about how you run your business. It's showing them how you market properties, the tools that you use, right? The professionalism that you provide. And it's like the rainbow vacuum cleaner. When you become a rainbow vacuum distributor or something, I think when you sign up, I used to have students that would corner me into doing these presentations for them at 19 years old all the time. And they would say, we want you to do a minimum of 30 presentations in your first 14 days, right? So what that did is it built an army of people that were really good at the presentation after those 14 days because they have practiced it so many times. But here's what the other thing it did. It put the product in 30 homes in 2 weeks. So the product is who here? Not the vacuum. What's the product here? Y'all, you're the product, right? You are the service. So what I'm encouraging you to do is if you don't have an actual client, what you do is reach out to someone in your network and say, I'm refining my presentation. I want to really get the cadence and I've worked on it a little bit. Would you mind if I practice it on you? And what it's doing is not only is it letting me get great at it, but it's also educating this person who's allowed me to practice it on who I serve and how I do it. You can do that on the buyer side, on the listing side, and then your business to business meetings, your networking meetings. Remember, every person on average, even the most introverted person, knows on average 300 people.
I've used this, by the way, what you just said. And I use it genuinely, honestly, because I do not lie. Um, and so, like, I've gone to people and I go, listen, you know me. I do this all the time, even if they don't know me, because they might know me, and I talk a lot about what I do, and I'll be like, you know me. My team sells hundreds of houses a year. But listen, I've already given this presentation to everyone. I need a fresh set of ears and eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you around church. You've always been really nice. I figured you might be a great person who would give me some honest feedback. Is that you?
Sure.
Because
I
then
love
when
that.
you go honest feedback, is that you? Nobody ever wants to say, "Oh no, I'm not the person who gives honest feedback." We
Yeah.
all think we're the greatest person to give feedback for, and so it's great. Like, I mean, it's so good because I am being honest. I don't come to
Yes.
someone who I'll just if I don't even have a new presentation, but I really need to have these conversations, I'll just say, I'm looking to a fresh set of eyes. I've
Sure.
given this one many times, but I'd like a fresh set of eyes who can give me a different perspective.
Love it. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get you guys to do is you are in control of your calendar and you need appointments. You need to be in front of people. And if you don't know how to go get appointments, this is a way that you can get appointments, educate people about what you do. It's as if I told you guys before. If I told you I wanted to buy a red car, that's all you would see for 2 months are red cars, right? So if I tell you who I serve and how you can help me find them and I show you what I do, that's all you're going to think about is ways that you can help me, right? Help me build my business. Ask. They will help you. I promise you. They will help you. Um, Number four would be your follow up, transaction work, emails, service existing business, flex time. Do you notice that admin stuff goes where on my calendar? Last, right? Do I get paid for admin work? Not usually. I mean, I can't get paid unless my file's right, but I got transaction coordinators that do that, right? But the admin stuff, the stuff that bogs us down, you guys playing on Canva, playing on social media, and I say playing, but you know what I mean. You're spending a lot of time on things that are not in direct correlation to a paycheck, right? Your appointments lead to a paycheck. The sales cycle says I have to generate a lead, and then I then generate an appointment. And from there, I start showing houses or prepping houses or listing them, right? But that is where I get closer to the paycheck, right? I got to get on the sales cycle. So I've given you guys kind of a sample schedule from 8:30 on, and kind of giving you things. I would encourage you to block your own time. Now, here's the thing about time blocking. It only works when you protect it. So, for example, if my money time is 9 to 10, and here's the thing I will tell you about that. I don't get a lot of people on the phone at 9 to 10. So I've had to move my prospecting time to 4 o'clock in the afternoon because most people are not home at 9 o'clock in the morning. They're dropping kids off at school, they're getting their day started. They don't want to talk to me at 9 o'clock. So maybe 9 to 10 o'clock is not the best time for you to do that. But for me to protect it, because I have a lot of meetings, I have coaching calls, I have a lot of things at 9 o'clock, I moved that to maybe 4 o'clock. And then that time is protected every day. Now, if I have to go show a house at that time, or if I have to go list a house, I'm going to make up that 4 o'clock slot some other time during the day because to me, it's a non negotiable. The daily prospecting time is not something that I move. And what happens is you guys look at it and you go, oh, I'll just move that to tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes and you find a new excuse why you don't have to do it because you're not really sure what to do during prospecting time. You don't know who to call. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to find new money, right? And what I'm here to tell you is that if this is the thing that you're going to commit to, then you're going to learn what to say. You're going to go find out what to do and who to talk to. But this time is protected. You don't move it around and then move it to the next week and then the next month, or you're going to have an empty pipeline and no money. You have to commit to finding business. If you opened a shoe store and your shoe store was only open 2 hours a day, would you make enough money to pay your rent? And most of you treat your real estate business like a shoe store that's only open 2 hours a day. And then you wonder why you didn't make $250,000 that year, right? You're setting yourself with unrealistic expectations, with not the right kinds of work on your calendar, not the right kinds of things on your calendar that produce income. Okay? So be picky. Say no. In the way that I use my barometer, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. So you're going to get invited by lenders, by title people, networking events. You're going to get invited to all kinds of things. I could literally get fed every day by a lender if I wanted to. Okay? Every day for free. But that doesn't make me any money. And I'm not going to sit down with a lender and take a free lunch or a free dinner every day of the week, because that does not progress me to my goals. It doesn't get to me where I'm going. So sometimes I have to tell a lender, thank you, but no thank you. I really appreciate you considering me, but I just don't have time this week, this month, this year to fit in any other lender appointments, right? I'm pretty happy with my lender right now, and I will keep you in my box, but I cannot commit to a lunch with you. I cannot commit to a dinner with you. I cannot commit to a breakfast with you. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Okay. On days that you have showings or other appointments at different times, reschedule with yourself the non-negotiables. Okay. We can go back to the slide. Thank you. Any questions on time blocking, comments, or anything that anybody wanted to share? Anything in the chat that I'm missing? No? All right. Let's talk about the hat. Oh, is it Nike? She might need to can you unmute her for a second?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
So
there she is.
With your time blocking, like, do you put it on a calendar? Do you like do something visual, or are you
Yes.
just like, yeah.
Yes. So a lot of times I use my Google Calendar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I also
use my Google Calendar a lot. So
I do too, but I also set alarms, right? I also will tell Siri to set reminders for me, like, hey, remind me to do this later in my admin thing. So this is the thing, is we get distracted. A lot of us have, like, ADD tennis ball syndrome, like ball, whatever, squirrel. And we get distracted. We'll sit down with the best intentions of drumming up business and working and shaking the money tree and things. But then all of a sudden an email will pop up, a text will pop up. I will tell you, you have to avoid distractions. You have to turn the phone over. You have to, not answer your email. So sometimes I'll just say, hey, Siri, will you remind me 4 o'clock during my admin hour to respond to that email? I'm not going to do that right now. Okay. I am going to set timers for myself, because I have a tendency to fall down a rabbit hole, and I look up and it's 4 hours later, and I can't do that, because then my whole day's gone. So I will say 20 minutes, I'm going to work on this, or especially if it's an admin thing, right? Because I need to be careful with that. But timers are my best friend, always. I do color code my calendar too. So everything that's related to money is always green on my calendar, always. That's how I can also determine, does this actually go on my calendar or not? If I wouldn't mark it green, why am I putting it on there? That's for you to decide, right? There are going to be things you're going to put on your calendar that don't relate to money, but I want you to be more cognizant of it. I want you to be more protective of it. You all only have a limited number of hours to produce the income that you want and to do the activities that produce income. So if you fill your calendar full of things that are not money generating, you could do that all day, every day, and then be behind, right? Feel like you're not getting anywhere. So I like to color code it in green, because that's very clear to me. If I have a whole calendar day and nothing on it is green, I'm not going to be able to put my head on the pillow that night and say, did I make any money today? Did my store make any money today? Right? If I'm using that same analogy. Does that make sense?
That's good. Yeah. And then
awesome.
My name is Nikkei.
Nikkei, thank you for telling me. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you've gotten that your whole life.
Yeah,
and I apologize. But you may want to put in parentheses if you do a lot of Zoom calls that does the phonetic pronunciation, so that people feel good about not butchering your name, but I love it. Nikkei, thank you so very much. It's what a beautiful name. I want you to align your work blocks too with your energy. So think about this. If you know you're an early morning person and you do your best work before noon, don't put the high value activities at 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. right? Your high value is when you are at your best. So align that with your energy and your personal responsibilities and make sure that you're building in breaks for yourself. So for someone like me that has an open calendar, because my coaching clients can book a calendar appointment with me at any time, I have to put in blocks for myself so that I can eat. Yesterday and the day before, I had back-to-back calls from 8 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't even have time to go pee if I needed to, because I didn't block off like 15 minutes or whatever it was to go get water, to go stretch my legs, to go step outside and put my feet in the grass if I wanted to, or whatever it is. You need those types of things too. So make sure that you are gentle with yourself and understand and recognize that you're a human, and that staring at a computer 8 hours a day or more may not be the healthiest choice for you to build your business or the best way for you to do that. Okay. I want you just to proactively plan how your time is used instead of being reactive to all the demands of your time. That's the bottom line. I want you to choose how you spend your time instead of having to do things because you don't have enough money or because you don't have consistent income. You're now required to do things of you that you wouldn't have chosen if you were proactively planning, if you were proactively determining where your business was going to come from. Okay, next slide, please. I want you to evaluate your systems and your tools. Now, here's the other part, that we have so many tools available to us, and somehow we got back.
No,
I
it's a
want you to
different slide.
Oh, you're right. It said how again, so I just got. I want you to identify what tools you're going to commit to using consistently, right? For me, I will share with you guys another resource. I created what's called a strategy roadmap. And that strategy roadmap is almost like an Excel spreadsheet where you identify who your target client is. You identify the channels in which that target client lives. Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they through a networking group? Are they through a bourbon tasting? Like, where is this person coming to me from? And then I'm identifying the tools that I'm going to use that I have at my disposal to get myself in front of them. So some of those are going to be my lofty landing pages, right? Some of them are going to be lead magnets that I've created. Some of the tools are going to be maybe Marbleism that I use. It's like an AI staff of 6 people that I use, right? So what tools do you have in your toolbox that you're going to use to deliver the service that you need to deliver this year, right? Don't go buying a bunch of tools that you're not going to use. Don't have these monthly payments coming out that adds to the stress on your shoulders and the noose around your neck, because now you have all these obligations and you have to spend all this money to make money. Evaluate the tool for what it is. What do you already have access to that you're already paying for, or that your company provides to you that you can use to get in front of your clients? Okay? And make the most out of those tools. I have people that have been with this company probably for 2 years. They've never even opened their Lofty, never even logged in. Okay? And I'm not saying that everybody has to, but what I'm going to tell you is that you have a tool that is so robust that will do the heavy lifting for you, that you haven't invested any time to learn how to use it. You don't have to be an expert in it. You have to learn the basics of it, right? And Robert's laughing because he's probably that guy that doesn't use, I know Chris doesn't use Lofty, but like, there's several people that I know don't use these tools, and that's fine. You don't have to, but if you have a tool that can make your job easier and you're already paying for it, why aren't you using it? Okay. It helps you. Listen, your brain cannot hold all the information about potential opportunities, the reminders and the follow-ups that you need to do with these people, the last time you talked to them, what you guys talked about. Your brain can't hold all of that. Use the tools that you have available to you, okay? Name the systems that you know in your business need improvement. This is where your business planning, year after year, you start looking at what worked and what didn't work, right? Maybe there's some breakdown in communication with your clients that you don't want to duplicate, right? So you may want to check and say, okay, are there gaps in my service that I could fix, that I could elevate? Decide which tools no longer serve you. I noticed that I've been paying $15 a month for ManyChat for about 3 years. Never converted one client from it. I've delivered a lot of collateral materials and PDFs and helpful things through it, but it's never made me $1. So I got rid of it because I don't need it anymore. You know why? Lofty will deliver collateral materials for free through landing pages. So why am I spending $15 a month on it? Okay, those are the kinds of evaluations I want you to have. Do you know what the tools that you have will do for you? Have you invested any time to check? Guess what? Everything you want to know is available on the internet. Everything, right? Even if you don't know how to do landing pages in Lofty, I could do a quick search, landing pages in Lofty, and there will be 497,000 videos on YouTube that will show me which ones, right? How to do them. So not knowing is an excuse. It's just you are not committed to learning how to use the tools that you have available to you. You're not interested. Maybe you're interested, but not committed. Okay, next slide, because I got to wrap this up. I'm sorry, I get on my soapbox, I get to talking. All right, the last thing I have for you is collateral materials. How do you want people to feel about working with you? What do you want them to know about your business? What kinds of materials do you need to support your business? Do people understand what your core values are, what your mission is? Do they understand what makes you different? Do they know what to expect from you? Like, do you have a video series that explains every step of the transaction? Or do you have emails? Do you have text messages, right? Do you give them buyer guides? Do you give them seller guides? Do you have lead magnets that you can use to generate leads, right? In the last thing that I had for you is a list of the collateral materials that I think you need. There are links that show you examples to each one of these things as well. That was in the Drive link that I gave to you guys. I want you to make sure that your collateral material reflects and the messaging in it is meant to attract who your target client is. So if my target client is probate and trust people, I want all my collateral materials to speak to those people, right? I want my collateral materials to really be clear of who I represent. Does that make sense? Okay. I want you to identify any gaps that reduce your clarity or professionalism. So if you know you're late to every appointment you have, maybe you need to try something different this year. Maybe you need to tell Siri to remind you 30 minutes before your appointment or 20 minutes so that you can leave and you're not late to every appointment, because your lateness is a reflection on you, right? Where are you not the highest caliber of professional that you want to be? What tweaks can you make to your service that elevate your professionalism? Okay. I think that's it. What's next? Write the letters. So in your workbook, this is the last part that I'm going to bring you home for. Okay. So if you got to go, go. But if you're not, here's what I want you to know. In your workbook that I gave to you guys, there's 2 letters that I have suggested you write. These are what I call accountability letters. The first letter is to your future self, or from your future self, congratulating you for all the hard work that you did, for making the dream that you had envisioned happen. All the things that were possible because you made the amount of money that you wanted to make. You served the number of families that you wanted to serve. You were proud of the business that you built. And this letter is a letter to yourself in acknowledging the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifice, and just being grateful and thankful for the business that you created. You're going to write that letter now in February as if it's happened. Okay. The other letter is a little hard. And this one, I promise you, grab a bag of tissues, a box of tissues when you write it. The second letter is an accountability letter that says, I'm sorry. It's an apology letter. That letter may be to your spouse. It may be to your children. It may be to your mother. It may be to whoever you need to write it to. It could be to yourself. But that second letter is, I'm sorry I didn't accomplish what I set out to do. I'm sorry that what is the consequences of you not meeting your goals? For some people, those stakes are really high. Maybe they lose their house. They can't pay their mortgage. They have to go get a job. They have to take their kid out of private school. They no longer can afford daycare. Maybe they can't afford sports for their kids, right? I want you to think about what could happen if I don't do what I know I need to do to run my business. And you are going to apologize to the people that are counting on you. And here's why these are important. These letters are for you to pull out when you're feeling low, when you don't have the motivation, when you don't feel inspired, when you are burnt out and you need a break, when you are beating yourself up. You're going to pull out that gratitude letter and you're going to re-motivate yourself. You're going to re-inspire yourself and remind yourself why you're doing this. Why are you here? Why are you doing this to begin with? And why this is so important that you stay committed to your non-negotiables and you stay committed to what you know you need to do. That other letter, some people are motivated by the other letter, which is the consequences. That has never motivated me, but it is impactful because it's emotional. It's impactful because you realize and recognize you cannot bullshit yourself when you are reading a letter that says, I'm really sorry I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And here are the consequences of that. Because y'all, we will let ourselves off the hook every time we can if we think that it doesn't have an outcome, it doesn't have a consequence. And the consequence is you need to take control and make sure that the people who are depending on you, and even if that is you yourself, a lone ranger, you're depending on your own actions. Those letters are there to motivate you, inspire you, and get you back on track when you are running low. Okay? Don't skip it. I know you're going to want to skip it. I know you're not going to want to do it because it's going to require you to be vulnerable. But what I'm going to ask you is that if this is that important to you, if your business, as the CEO of this company that you started, the business you opened, if this is important to you, don't skip the vulnerable part, the emotional part, the why part. Okay? I want you to build a business you're proud of. I want you to build a business that supports your life. I want you to build a business that fulfills you and gives you joy. And it's really hard in this business if you don't take proactive measures. The reactive side of this business will cause you to hate it. It will cause you to burn out. And it will be a struggle. And there's no reason to struggle in this business because there's plenty of money for everybody to make in this industry. There's plenty of people buying and selling houses. Why aren't they buying and selling from you? That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming, Robert. Thank you for having me all 4 weeks. I really have appreciated the opportunity to talk to you guys. I've been on my soapbox, so I did not monitor the chat, and I don't know if there's anything in there I need to address. But here's what I will say to each and every one of you is that you already have everything inside of you that you need to be successful. You have every tool, every resource, every support system that you could possibly imagine to be successful in this business. You don't need, what you need is to leverage it and to utilize it, right? And to take time for yourself and build a business that supports the life that you want. Your business is not in control. You're in control of it, okay? Go out and get it. Go kill it, Tigers. I know you've got it inside of you, okay? Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Love it. Thank you, Laura. And guys, make sure we always send everything in the newsletter too, the replays, the workbook, everything just convenient for you. So if you haven't subscribed, we'll drop the link for you. But that's just our convenient way of making sure you all stay in the loop and can access everything that Laura talked about and is sharing with you to bless you and serve you. And remember, we're here every week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central, live for you. So I hope to see you again next week. And get in the Facebook group too, the Agent Alliance, and you can ask more questions. You can tag Laura in it, and she'll answer those questions and things like that too. Joanne, I did see that you had a question. Are you still?
Somebody had a hand up too.
I think that was Joanne.
Okay.
Oh, she's gone. Okay.
They disappeared, right? Maybe they were saying
I
bye.
know. They're like, I'm going straight to the Facebook group to ask the question.
Go do it.
That's right.
Thank you guys so very much for putting up with me for 4 weeks.
You,
I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're amazing. You're amazing. All right, guys, we will head off then. And again, newsletter goes out on Friday. Facebook group is always available to you, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.